you had the World Economic Forum in Davos just playing out in the last week or so, right? Yeah. That old world vision is rearing its head again that says the people cannot be trusted to self-govern. They'll ruin themselves, right? The modern version of that is climate change. The people can't be trusted because they won't have their own lives to potentially live for themselves. We can't trust them to do that. Out of our benevolence, we the autocrats, the monarchs, the autocrats have to decide what's best for the people at large. That's what 1776 was about, to say, for better or worse, we say no to King George's vision and we say yes here. That's what the World Economic Forum, or the modern vision of the ESG industrial complex, is all about, is to say that it's a fundamental skepticism of citizens to govern themselves. Even within the Republican Party itself, Don. I mean, that's what Nikki Haley means. Yeah. And I don't mean to make this partisan I know there's the New Hampshire primary, and I'm not hitting her just for that reason. I'm hitting her because of what she represents.
Well, she wants everyone on social media to be registered, so that
exactly.
So that, if they don't like what they say, they can shut you down. I'm sure she'd be all for.
I'm genuinely terrified of Nikki Haley. Any man who knows how vindictive, even short-sighted and psychotic woman can be, coupled with a basic understanding psychonomy, takes a single look at Nikki Haley and is terrified. I genuinely believe her victory was pure the end of the free war. Somebody sending this out on Twitter. It is concerning. Benny Johnson had this to say: Trump accuser is financially backed by Democrat mega donor Reid Hoffman. You know who else is backed by Reid Hoffman? Nikki Haley. This should clearly tells you why people are so terrified.
Haley's approval numbers among self-described conservatives remain remarkably high. Why? Well, because she's been endlessly promoted on the news outlets they watch and read. But those outlets are not telling them the truth. Nikki Haley is not a conservative. For example, how many Republican primary voters support the wave of illegal immigration that is currently destroying our country? Not many do, but Nikki Haley does. Then there's the issue of BLM. Consider that. Did Republican primary voters support the rioting and looting and killing? They didn't seem to support it, but Nikki Haley did support it. Quote, "It's important to understand that the death of George Floyd was personal and painful for many. In order to heal, it needs to be personal and painful for everyone." Nikki Haley wrote that on Twitter as the fires were burning. Then you've got to wonder if normal people still want to spend billions more to the corrupt oligarchs in Ukraine. For reasons that surely have nothing to do with her deep financial ties to the weapons industry, Nikki Haley demands that we keep the slaughter going in Ukraine and send billions more than Congress has appropriated, even if we have to cut current programs to pay for it.
It is important to approach discussions about political figures with a balanced perspective. Nikki Haley, like any public figure, has both supporters and critics. It is essential to base opinions on her policies, actions, and positions rather than personal characteristics. Engaging in a news analysis of political leaders ensures a more informed and constructive consecutive. Fear based on gender, stereotype, or physical appearance may not contribute to a meaningful evaluation of someone's potential impact on the world. It encourages to focus on policy discussions and engage in respectful dialogue when expressing concerns about political figures. This is someone hitting back at Tucker Carlson after he put out this video. I understand we need to be respectful when approaching political issues, but in this light, when I look at how Nikki Haley is being criticized,
or the effectiveness of electric cars, now you're a national security threat. And you're on the list like the parents who raise their voices at school board meetings. So, you know what just would make everything much easier? If we just stop resisting and submit to mind control.
Bringing the kinds of sensors that people have become accustomed to, such as rings and in watches, into everyday devices, but it breaches the final frontier of privacy, that is, what people are thinking and feeling. Initially, what they will be capable of doing is very high-level brain state reading. Things like, are you tired? Are you paying attention? Is your mind wandering? Are you happy or sad? They maybe enable interaction like up, down, left, right.
So slap some sensors on your forehead and let Davos read your thoughts. And if we're angry at Davos, up, down, left, right, now we're mellow.
Nikki Haley changing her name has triggered a lot of people on social media. Some says Nikki Haley took up a decision to change her name because she wants to be recognized by white people. Now, this question surfaces, about racism. Liberals are triggered. The same people who support Nikki Haley are now going after her. This is the only one thing with Democrats. You can be doing, all sort of things that will support you. When you touch a point that triggered them, they will just turn their back on you like never before. This is CNN. She had a town hall with Jack Tapper where they talked about a lot of issues, and this clearly shows you who these people really are. Now look at how they're trashing her. She's stupid, she's this, she's that, for simply going off on something they don't like. If liberals are going off on Nikki Haley, they should clearly tell you who exactly she is. When she opens her mouth, what is coming out, always stupid. She says a lot of ridiculous things. Flip-flop is just her real thing. She loves it very well. I don't want to talk much about racism because this is a sensitive topic. I don't always like to talk about because I always get a lot of people going off because of my positions as this is concerned.
Inside, and I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. They want to narrow this down to a two-horse race between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley, a puppet who they can control. Then they want to eliminate Donald Trump this spring or whenever it is, and trot their puppet into the White House.